today. The starting sixes have taken the field, and we are moments away from the beginning of this match between 4th seed Team France and 5th seed Team Australia. And we're off! Australia gets the quaffle immediately, but is beat, and France considers a break, but resets, slows it down. France, knowing that Australia is a much more physical side to them, looking to avoid some of that. Australian keeper tripping over his hoop, and France taking the first goal of the game. The score 10-0 for France over Australia. You will hear a lot of chanting from the crowd here. Australian supporters very loud, and French supporters very numerous. Both sides looking to make it into the semifinals here at the 2016 IQA Quidditch World Cup in Frankfurt, Germany. Australia has gotten on the board. The score now 10-10. France using the same slow technique to move the ball up the pitch. Australia using their speed and physicality to try and push through, but unable to do so. France with the interception, pulling it through for another goal. A beautiful play from Team France. The score 20-10 for France over Australia here in this quarterfinal of the Quidditch World Cup. For those of you just tuning in, this is the quarterfinal matchup between 4th and 5th seeds France and Australia here at the Quidditch World Cup in Frankfurt, Germany, and we have a delayed penalty call on the play. In this situation, it is likely that France has the penalty due to an advantage being called. We will see what comes out of this. It is a card, and the color is yellow. It is a yellow card to number 6, the chaser for Team France. We will know in a moment what the card was for. The card was for grabbing an opponent's broom. Grabbing an opponent's broom is a big no-no. Hang on. Yeah. Ball goes to Team Australia. The French chaser spending 1 minute in the penalty box. France down a player for that minute. Unless Australia scores before that minute is up, that will end the penalty. And it is a French keeper ball. It is a very hot and sunny day out here in Frankfurt, Germany. I'd like to remind all of our folks at home to drink a lot of water and wear sunscreen if for whatever reason you are watching this outside. If you're not watching this outside, sunscreen might be overkill. However, for our British and Irish listeners, it might not be. You never know just how little sun can cause a burn to that very fragile British constitution. The score now 30-10 for France over Australia. France managing to score even while down a chaser, and the penalty is over Their chaser is back on the field, and France is back up to a full 6 players. Chaser immediately going on defense. Looking at the quaffle. Aussie looking for the pass, gets it, but it is and just tipped and couldn't quite get it on target. Again, not on target, and he has been sent back to hoops. And it is a keeper ball to Team France. I'm sorry, I was about to eat a salty parabola, but I realized that that would be very crunchy on the feed. And France has scored again, 40-10. All right, we have a fun fact from our logistics coordinator, Bex Alley, who has just informed me that number 13 for France, the keeper now, the strapping young lad who just blocked that goal and is going for the sprint in, passes and just misses. That number 13, that one who we were just following through that play, works with small children in his day job. As well, we have number 99, Monty, on Team Australia. Also plays for Team Australia in Ultimate Frisbee. They are a beater here in Quidditch on Team Australia. And since Ultimate doesn't have more than one position, they play Ultimate for the women's Ultimate Team Australia, because Ultimate is also still segregated for some weird reason along 2 arbitrary lines that have been set up by society to split humanity into 2 groups. Those groups normally known as men and women. They are not, however, the only 2 genders that exist. They are definitely not the only 2 genders that exist in Quidditch, and Quidditch allows all genders to play at all times, and in fact requires at least 2 genders to be on pitch at all times. I realized last night that I managed to go over 10 hours of live stream coverage without once mentioning the gender rule in Quidditch, which is an oversight on my part. As you have no likely noticed, Quidditch is an all-gender sport. There is a rule in the rulebook known as Title 9 3/4, named after Title 9, the anti-discrimination rule in the U.S. Human Rights Code, and named after Platform 9 3/4, where one gets the train to Hogwarts, because the bus doesn't go to Hogwarts. You have to take the train. The bus doesn't go to Hogwarts. You have to take the train. That beautiful insight, courtesy of Harry and the Potters, a wonderful band from North America, 2 brothers, Paul and Joe DeGeorge, who may or may not be watching right now. Probably not. But if they are, hi Paul and Joe. Thank you for giving me something to talk about. So, Title 9 3/4 is the gender rule. It is also known as the no more than 4 rule. Of the 6 core players on a team at once, the 3 chasers, 1 keeper, and 2 beaters, no more than 4 of them who are on pitch at the same time can identify as the same gender. And number 1, I believe, on Team Australia has been given a yellow card for sliding. And Australia is down a beater for up to a minute. France on the attack again. looking to get through that defense. Australia's physicality so far not helping them as much as they probably hoped in this game against France. France currently leading 40-10, successfully using slow balling tactics and trolls in the dungeon, passing it around the hoops and getting those points on the board. It is still early in the game, and Australia is still in range, and especially now after that beautiful goal from the midline, knocking over the hoop in the process. France looking to respond in kind. Well, not in kind because they're not shooting from the midline, but it is a turnover and a keeper ball to Team Australia. And that, the score still 40-20 for France. Australia with the ball behind the hoops, and she recovers her own rebound to get beat out. Number 71 recovering from the beat, and Australia has reset and are regrouping at the midline. Australia with bludger control. Both beaters on defense at the moment, letting the Quaffle players push forward. Oh, we have an Australian beater coming forward. He is napalming. That was a beautiful tackle from Team France. Team France looks like they were anticipating the physicality of Team Australia and are responding in kind with some beautiful takedowns from Team France. Australia looking to slow down the play. Now a napalm is a beater tactic. Another beautiful takedown from number 47, and there is a delayed penalty call. And brooms are down. While the brooms are down, there is no call on the play. And France maintains possession. Napalming is a beater tactic when your team has bludger control. You leave one of your beaters defensively in your keeper zone, holding a bludger with another bludger at their feet. They cannot be in control of both bludgers, but they can guard one of them while the other team has a bludger in their possession. There is no goal. A beautiful save from the Australian keeper, but France maintains control of the ball and can't quite get it on target, and it's a turnover for going outside the hard boundary. Once you have one beater at the back, at your hoops, with a bludger in hand and a bludger on the ground, your now liberated beater, who no longer has a bludger, can push forward and put pressure on the opponent beater who does have a bludger. You can, in this way, interact with all three bludgers at once, causing a lot of headache for the defensive team. A very nice try on the beat. A long bomb beat that just misses number 13, the French keeper, who did pass it off, but they couldn't quite get it on target. France still in control, looking to slow things down and get back into position. And it is no goal But France on the rebound again, blocked by the Australian keeper. And France still with the quaffle. Resetting back to their keeper. And moving it forward slowly. It is so hot out right now that I'm feeling the sun even through my tent. So make sure, again, because I'm a broken record, to drink lots of water and wear lots of sunscreen, even though you're probably indoors and may even have air conditioning. If you do have air conditioning, I kind of hate you a little bit. I did go dead there for a minute. I apologize. That was to discuss the water situation here in the live stream tent. The score, 40-20 for France. And Australia has a yellow card for wrapping the legs for a tackle below the knees. A beautiful catch from the Australian beater, number 21, but they dropped their broom in the process. And France still on the attack. And a beautiful pass for another goal to Team France. Pulling back into only overtime range here in this quarterfinal match of the IQA Quidditch World Cup 2016 in Frankfurt, Germany. The scorching heat, you would think, would favor Team Australia, used to barren wastelands and desert where everything is trying to kill you except for some of the sheep. However, France is dominating this game, and Australia has scored. Australia getting back into the game, 50-30. Australia finally getting some good positioning around France's hoops and making it through that French defense. France currently the more physical side in this game right now. Not what I would have expected, but it is what has happened. It's swatted out, but France faster on the ball, passes it behind, gets control of it, but is tackled. And the Australian keeper very angry with the quaffle there and gets a yellow card for, I believe, contact from behind or contact above the shoulders. It was contact from behind. The keeper for Team Australia, number 13, sent to the penalty box for 1 minute for tackle from behind. They're in the penalty box as a chaser, since all teams must have a keeper on pitch at all times. Number 62 now keeping for Team Australia. It is possible that number 62 is now the first female keeper of the tournament. We cannot confirm that though, but my backup vocals have considered that this might be true. The score now 60-30, France over Australia. The US are winning against Belgium, but only by 20 points. The score 40-20, the US over Belgium. Yes. And France has scored again. Belgium on another pitch, holding the US to within Snitch range at 13 minutes of play. And Australia has responded finally. The score now 70-40. Australia back in range for overtime once the Snitch game starts. And a pass over behind to France. That has been a very effective tactic for France today, but they were beat. However, France does still have control of the quaffle and is on the attack. Looking for a pass, number 14. Slowing things down, using their beater as a blocker and trying to push through. Giving the pass to behind, but it is blocked by the Australian keeper, and it is a keeper ball. The score 70-40 in this very close and very intense game here between France and Australia in the quarterfinals of the 2016 IQA Quidditch World Cup here in Frankfurt, Germany. We are coming very close to the Seeker game, nearing the 16-minute mark. The Snitch will be released at 17 minutes, and the Seekers at 18. And there is no goal on that play, but Australia still has the quaffle and manages to get it in for a goal. The score now 70-50. I'm sorry, the scorekeepers have the score at 60-50, not 70-50. The score 60-50 for Team France over Team Australia in this quarterfinal. A beautiful tackle in the beater game there right at center pitch. A pass to behind the hoops that doesn't get past the Australian keeper, who slows down waiting for his beaters to get in to the game. And we have an injury, and a broom's down.
It's been a physical game. It was a physical game. It's always going to be a little, especially against these two sides.
All right. The Australian beater getting a substitute for the injury. Seekers have been called to the score tent. There is some discussion with Team France. I'm not sure what they're discussing, as I cannot read lips, nor can I hear that far away from me. I can't think of someone else with super hearing other than Clark Kent, so I will unfortunately reset to that same joke that I made last time. All right, and we have brooms up again. The score 60-50 for Team France. The Snitch soon to be released. And the Australian chaser was beat before that goal. The goal is no good. Was beat before that goal, seen by assistant ref Ben Pooley. The goal no good. Score still 60-50 for France. Here as we enter the 17th minute of this quarterfinal game. Either team can win it on the snitch catch here. The snitch is worth 30 points to whichever team's seeker catches it and will end the game. Both teams can win on the snitch catch here with only a 10-point difference in their scores. The snitch in yellow at the center line of the pitch has a tennis ball and a sock attached to the back of their shorts. That tennis ball and sock must be removed by the seeker with only one hand for a snitch catch to have occurred. And here we go, the countdown to the release of the seekers. Seekers are released. And the Australian seeker going hard and is beat. And Australia has scored, tying the game. It is 60-60. France going in for a catch, but can't quite get it and is beat out. The beaters defending the snitch to the death, as this is currently where the game hangs in the balance. In the snitch and beater game going on at midfield, right by the quaffle, actually. Oddly enough, the French seeker with some time one-on-one with the snitch can't quite get around him. The USA has pulled ahead of Belgium. The score now 100-50 for the US. That game still ongoing. French seeker with more one-on-one time against the snitch. The French beaters successfully keeping the Australian seeker away from the snitch so that the French seeker can hopefully get that catch and win them this quarterfinal of the Quidditch World Cup. Australia on a drive and has pulled into the lead. The score now 70-60 for Australia. Still any team's game, depending on the snitch catch here in the middle of the pitch of this quarterfinal. French seeker substitute coming in one-on-one with the snitch and almost gets a hand on it, but can't quite get in his fingers. Again, almost has his hands on it, but is sent back to hoops. And we have a brooms down. The score 70-60, Australia over France. (70-60), Australia over France right now. And we have a turnover. I'm not entirely sure what the turnover was for, but Australia in control of the quaffle. And both seekers have been beat, but Australia has scored. 80-60 for Australia. Australia looking to pull out of snitch range before France can catch this snitch. And it might be possible, although this number 12 is a very good seeker. And French beating team is successfully keeping the Australian seeker off of the snitch. All of the beaters have been sent back to hoops. Oh, and the snitch is not paying attention. And it is a catch. The snitch distracted by the French seeker. And the Australian seeker snuck in behind, gets the catch. The refs conferring on whether or not this is a catch. The score currently stands at 80-60 for Australia. Either team can still win on a snitch catch. The ARs, head ref, snitch ref all conferring on this catch to see whether or not it's good. Oh, and the US has beat Belgium 130-50. The USA into the semifinals. And the catch is good! The catch is good. Australia wins 110-60. Australia into the semifinals here at the 2016 IQA Quidditch World Cup in Frankfurt, Germany. Australia will be playing against whoever wins the Canada versus Mexico game that is also going on at this moment. The US has also beaten Belgium in their quarterfinal match to move on to the semis, and they will play against the winner of the UK-Turkey match, which is also happening right now. We will give you scores of those. Well, we won't give you scores. We will give you updates of results on Twitter at HackerWitch, and with the hashtag Quidditch World Cup, I will have an updated bracket for you very shortly. The final score here in this quarterfinal on the live stream is Australia 110 star to France 60. The star denoting a snitch catch. Australia catching the snitch to cement their victory over France here in technically an upset. Australia being seeded 5th to France's 4th going into today's matches. We will be back at some point. We will be back at 1 p.m. in about 10 minutes with Norway versus Germany in the final of the round of 16. Oh no, sorry, I lied. In the semifinal of the round of 16 consolation bracket that we were in before this game. The upper bracket taking a well-deserved break after this game.